From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now all the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, August 18th. We're going to be very close to what we had yesterday as far as weather is concerned. A few showers for some people, very isolated storm chances or two will be possible this afternoon. We'll get into the mid-80s, and it's going to be pretty muggy. Some strong words from former Vice President Mike Pence about the Taliban takeover in Afghanistan. He wrote an opinion article in the Wall Street Journal and claimed President Biden broke the country's deal with the Taliban. He also says the Biden administration's disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan is a foreign policy humiliation unlike anything our country has endured since the Iran hostage crisis. It has embarrassed America on the world stage, caused allies to doubt our dependability, and emboldened enemies to test our resolve. And this morning, we're hearing the voices of veterans who've served in Afghanistan. Throughout the past 20 years, thousands of Indiana men and women have deployed there. News 8's Demi Johnson spoke to two men who served, and they explain why what's happening now is hard to watch.
The sights and sounds of a struggling country.
It could be argued they're going to be worse off now than they were before we got there.
It's 2021. This is America. That's not what we stand for.
Are more than just the latest headlines for Staff Sergeant Brian Alvey and Sergeant First Class Joshua Workman.
I could sit down and rationally make out a list of all the reasons why we should have went, which we should have went. They attacked us, and I can list out all the things that we did good, but you put it all together and you sit down and you watch what just happened, and it's really hard to convince yourself that this was not all for naught. What was the point, you know?
Alvey's first tour in Afghanistan was in 2004, but over the years, he spent more time there. He got to know the people, and to this day has kept in touch with them, until recently.
It's hard. I mean, you work with these people for months on end, no different than the people I served with in uniform, or you work with at your place of employment. You develop a relationship with. These people are just wanting good things for their family, no different than people over here. They're no different than us. They're just in a different place in the planet.
It's something he says you can only understand if you were there. A sentiment felt by Workman, who served two tours in Afghanistan from 2003 to 2004, and again from 2010 to 2011.
I would like people to not believe what you're hearing in regards to Afghan soldiers are cowards and not willing to fight. I've stood next to them while we've been shot at and took in mortar attacks, and they're not afraid. They run towards the fight too.
As the Taliban takes over, he's worried about what will happen to all of the Afghan allies who tried to help for the past 20 years.
They are proud of their country, but what are you supposed to do with your country when it gets overran by, for lack of a better word, terrorists? I mean, that's what they are.
Now, back home in Indiana, both men are still fighting. Their battles just look a little different.
I've reached out to my VA psychiatrist just to talk about it because it was a lot of emotions. That first day that I saw it happening, I was like, well, I need to talk to somebody.
I think you're going to get a lot of veterans if you're just going quiet right now.
And this morning, the president is back at the White House after a trip to Camp David. He returned overnight without any new comments about Afghanistan. His administration is facing quite the backlash over its handling of the crisis as American citizens and Afghan allies still wait for help getting out. White House officials say the Taliban has pledged not to interfere with anyone who wants to leave. The administration says the evacuation is growing.
They have safely and effectively drawn down our embassy compound and retrograded our diplomatic personnel. They have now secured the airfield and are conducting flights out of the country. They are moving American citizens, as well as Afghan nationals and third country nationals. They are facilitating flights for our allies and partners to get citizens and others out of Afghanistan.
As of this morning, administration officials report more than 3,200 people have been evacuated, including nearly 2,000 Afghan refugees have been relocated to the United States. White House officials say the U.S. military evacuated around 1,100 people yesterday. The concern now turns to the tens of thousands more refugees who need a place to go, fearing what the Taliban government might do.
One of the people that they never keep their promise.
UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson and German Chancellor Angela Merkel say the entire globe is going to need to work together. They're calling for a virtual G7 summit as soon as possible. And today we do expect President Biden to talk about the possibility of a COVID-19 booster shot. Health officials appear ready to approve them for all soon. Wish TV's medical expert and former U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams explains what doctors in Israel learned during a booster shot study in Israel.
The vaccine was still effective against preventing severe disease and hospitalization and death, but there was still spread going on. There were breakthrough infections that were causing spread, and they gave over 1 million people there a third dose and saw significantly increased immunity, antibody levels after that third dose was administered. So really what they're doing is following the science here, and the science says you're still protected from hospitalization and death, but if we want to break the chain of spread, then it's important that we start getting people these third booster doses.
Boosters are already approved for people with certain immune system weaknesses 8 months after their first round of shots. And the return of a pandemic problem for parents, whether to send kids to school in person or keep them home. It's a question weighing in on a lot of parents' minds amid a surge of coronavirus cases in kids. Majority of parents plan to send children to school in person this year, but want more information on preventing transmission. That's according to a recent survey the Rockefeller Foundation commissioned that is just out this morning. It shows 89% of parents were okay with in-person school as of late July. That's up 5% from a similar survey in May. Only about a quarter of respondents say they know details on plans to prevent the spread of COVID-19 among young students, though. So one way to prevent cases is to get kids the shot. Medical expert Dr. Amanda Furr with Community Health Network says parents often ask if their child should get vaccinated if they're on the cusp of being 12 years old. She's encouraging anyone eligible, so 12 years and up, to get the vaccine.
There is no reason to wait if your child is 12 years and older. The vaccine is safe. It's been studied in that age group, and it is effective. So as soon as your child is eligible and has no other reason health-wise to not receive the vaccine, they should get it.
Community Health Network says getting vaccinated is one of the mitigation strategies to keep your kids safe when going back to school, including wearing a mask. Students and staff at Greenwood schools are now required to wear face coverings. It's the first school system in Johnson County to return to a mandate. The district says a surge of cases has sent more than 100 students into quarantine. As with many other local districts, masks have been a divisive topic among parents. Superintendent Terry Terhune says schools are caught in the middle. The district says it'll keep a close eye on the numbers and reevaluate the mask requirement over Labor Day weekend. And today marks 17 years since the death of Indianapolis police officer Timothy Jake Laird. Officer Laird was shot and killed while responding to a 911 call in 2004. Laird's parents received the Sagamore of the Wabash Award earlier this month. That's one of the highest awards in the state of Indiana. It recognizes Mike and Debbie Laird's contributions to police and other safety officers in Indiana. The couple started the Jake Laird Memorial Fund after their son's death and lobbied for the state's Jake Laird Law. That law allows officers to seize firearms from people with certain red flag signs, including mental health issues. $6,000 is on its way to the families of the 3 teenagers from Fishers who were killed in a hit and run in South Carolina. Yesterday, we told you about the long lines at Jack's Donuts of Fishers. The donut fundraiser was sold out by 9 a.m. All proceeds from yesterday's sales went to those families. The 3 teenagers are 17-year-old twins Elena and Isabel Gaddis and 18-year-old Brianna Foster. Melissa Parker has now been charged with DUI after hitting them head-on and leaving the scene. Officials in South Carolina say Parker was driving the wrong way on the interstate. A 4th person was taken to the hospital. In California, tens of thousands of homes and businesses will lose their electricity in an effort to prevent more wildfires. The utility company, Pacific Gas and Electric, says 51,000 customers will go dark so that power lines will be dead and not spark new fires when strong, potentially damaging wind comes through today. The state's dealing with several wildfires, including the Caldor Fire east of Sacramento, which has grown to nearly 50 square miles. The Buttigieg household is about to get a little bigger. The U.S. Transportation Secretary and former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg said he and his husband Chasten have become parents. He said it in a tweet. Buttigieg says that the process isn't done yet, but they can't wait to share more soon. And we are counting down to kickoff of high school football season. Our game of the week is back in action. This week's matchup features Center Grove at Warren Central, 2 powerhouse schools. Last night, the AP released its rankings for the school's football teams here in the state, and Center Grove is number 1, and Warren Central is number 6. So this is going to be quite the matchup. The game's Friday night at 7. Don't forget to check out Wish TV for all of your high school football highlights. Have a lot more too Friday night. This has been your News 8 Daily. For Wish TV, I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
allindianapodcastnetwork.com.